data is coming from, like you said, playing up against upper tier elite level teams and players. So over here he might have an even stronger advantage. I'll tell you what, it looks like the pistol round's just about to go live, Joey.
Good. That was good timing. I think we pretty much covered everything that really needed covered.
Material.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, so into the pistol round will be Lounge Gaming, starting on the CT side, featuring Mihu, Sparrow, Pete, who actually went for a kit and a smoke, Malzino, and Innocence. And on PixelFire on the T side, we've got Taboo, Dead Fox with flashes, Mave with full utility. It looks like that smoke from Dead Fox already went out into middle. Barbar carrying the bomb, and last but not least, we've got Flashy contact made here. Lower B on to the catwalk, and Dead Fox has got down Sparrow, and woo, Mihu. Fortunate that wasn't a nade, because he would have been dead, the last thing he saw. He's white, he's running away, 7 HP. I think Flashy might have just spotted him, and he's able to get into the site. So middle and catwalk control, as well as... That's actually evened up, and Maeve and Mihu are pretty much identical HP, but still going to favor PixelFire in the end.
It looked like it was going to be a really dangerous situation for Lounge Gaming. They went for that strong, aggressive cat control play for CT, and they just got caught completely off guard. Now Mihu getting blinded out, just a little bit of pressure, baiting some sort of response from the A site players, and that's going to keep them right there. Flash has dropped down into CT, maintaining pressure and keeping these two players stuck on the A site. Here comes the B hit. It's going to be Pete all alone. We talked about how good of a clutch player he is. Not going to survive the initial onslaught, though. He gets dropped quickly. That's Barbar with the headshot. And now, finally, the rotation's coming in. 2v3, and the health for Mihu's super low.
Yeah, and Flashy, the man that dropped off a cat to CT, he delayed the rotation a little bit. He wasn't able to get a kill, and he did go down, but now retaking Innocent and Mihu, and one of them's pretty low. That's Mihu coming through the window. Barbar wins the fight at the door, and Taboo hits the easy one shot onto Mihu to bring him down. So PixelFire, they will take the pistol round here, off to a good start on their T side.
Yeah, man, solid stuff right there. It was kind of back and forth. PixelFire catching them completely off guard initially with that aggressive cat play. Able to open up the round with a little one-for-one trade favoring the T's. And who was that? Flashy, I think. Sitting down in CT. Yeah, exactly. He was able to hold the rotation off just long enough to get the job done at the B site. Nice stuff.
That was a nice strat, right? You get the cat control, and then they added that additional layer of complexity to the mid-B split. They have people come out the mid doors, and they also had Flashy and CT spawn, so that was already great to see. And that's something that that's not something you have to do on a pistol round, but they can use that in future rounds on rifles, and there was a great smoke that goes down. I guess kind of credit to Titan/Envious members for kind of bringing that to CSGO. And great pop flash, so good teamwork already. Good use of utility on that pistol round. And now it's just, can you survive that CT force buy? Things are getting a bit dicey. PixelFire might be starting to sweat. They've lost a few members. They have evened it up, and now Flashy did get one in middle, but has fallen 2-on-2. Retake is possible here for Lounge Gaming, but even with that additional 5 seconds these days, they've got no kit, so they will have to go pretty quickly.
Yeah, it looks like they want to both go down long. That might play to their advantage. No one's actually looking towards long right now. Taboo might suspect it, though. Now he's taking some position at CT. Oh, the missed shot. Dead Fox right there now knows at least one's going to be long. Innocent jump scout, so dangerous. He's dropped him so
Come on, Innocent, you know where he is.
Taboo's gone. It just takes one tap. And Mouse picks it up. Dead Fox going to get dropped. They got plenty of time for the defuse. Got dicey, and Lounge Gaming is able to convert that pistol round loss.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Didn't have time. All right, so obviously winning that round is better, but they did still get away with an AK. Innocent was running away because he's like, you know what, Mouse? Like, you deal with the bomb that's gonna probably explode. I'm gonna save this weapon. He also got it there with a Molotov. He'll spend 650 to pick up some Kevlar too, because honestly, having this ain't 1.6. Having a rifle without Kevlar in this game is just useless. So, not a bad round, also expensive. Every single person on PixelFire went down and had to rebuy, but they did also have bomb money. So let's see what happens here in round 3. It looks like they're focused on a B attack.
Yeah, very standard sort of B attack as well. Look at Mouse playing the close angle. This is smart with the CC75. Takes a shot, but he's going to miss. And that allows Dead Fox to walk in to pick up the kill. Just like that, B site quickly falls down of the last 4 remaining players. Down by mid. One little tit for tat trade for Innocent, dropping 1T in middle. And Barbar's going to find himself completely out of position with a retake underway.
So, I mean, the AK is still in the hands of Lounge Gaming. Actually, two now. Sparrow and Pete both picking them up. So, if they can save here, this is actually a job pretty well done here on the force up in the eco round 2 and round 3 of the halve. But one of them will fall. Sparrow did get a kill. I think saving that AK would have been better, but just unable to get out of there. Mihu maybe has a chance to get one more frag if he plays with shadows. I think we saw Taboo's shadow. He's aware that he's coming in, heard the steps as well. But Taboo will win out the fight, and Pete able to hold on to the AK here in pit. I don't think they're going to be able to get around. They were working their way to pit, but they won't find Pete.
Yeah. Well, disappointing round for Lounge Gaming. I mean, they were able to pick up just a couple of kills, but they're not keeping the economy all that low. In fact, the only person who's really struggling here is going to be what? Maeve and Barbar, as far as the economy goes. PixelFire has everything they need to get the job done. First gun round now underway. Let's see exactly how these troops deploy. They're going to stack 2 players inside B and go for a quick long control peek. And Flash is not going to get too aggressive. Just chucks a grenade out there to announce his presence and try to hold players over at the long A area. One's going to get dropped into pit, and now they're starting to focus on watching CT, or watching Cat rather. Cat control has been granted, and a smoke's blocking PixelFire off. Standard setup. PixelFire just going to play a default today.
Yep, everyone basically going for that mid control. They did have Barbar off in the upper tunnels. Looks like he was maybe trying to get a pick before that smoke went down, blocking off the B site from him. He actually did take some damage, sitting at 48. Most likely ate a grenade for 52 damage. And actually some more grenade. Yeah, nicely done. Some damage given there to Dead Fox and Maeve, putting both of them. 3 players now within one-shot headshot range from any of these M4s. And Mihu, if he pushes this fast, that's going to be... Oh, wow! Taboo was stuck in the process of turning around. He takes Mihu out, and Pete's holding on in the window. 2, now 3 quick kills for CSGO Lounge. Pete with the double at window, and even assist there on Barbar. I guess it was his nade early on in the round. Double for him, double for Mouse, and Lounge Gaming on the board in a big way.
Yeah, that was huge. I thought that round was going to go completely opposite. You saw the one member drop down low and get picked off, but then the smokes go off to block the to block for the mid to B. And then that push through. Taboo just right in the right position to go ahead and pick 1 kill up. Not going to happen though. Lounge Gaming, solid defense on the B side. This time Lounge Gaming, they're doing the exact same setup. It seems like they favor charging down, taking a little bit of long control before they realize no one's down there, and then they back off. They're going to leave 2 players at long this time around. No AWPs in sight. No need. Just play the long distance game with rifles.
Yeah, and now you can see the fruits of Lounge Gaming's labor on round 2 and 3, right? Because those were so close, and because Lounge Gaming saved a few AKs. PixelFire off of just 1 loss, but winning 3-0 with 2 bomb explosions has to save. That's how expensive Lounge Gaming made it. So pretty much getting that free round, but will it? The 1 Tech 9 that's on the board doing a little bit of damage, as a lot of teams are doing that now. Just get that cat control, which is usually given up, especially when you're going to be expecting just a Tech 9 rush or a Glock train like that, and made it somewhat expensive for Lounge Gaming.
Expensive. That's very expensive, man. I mean, they baited out a number of grenades. They're going to force 3 complete rebuys for Lounge Gaming. This is 2 rounds in a row for Lounge. And the money's still relatively low here. Spiro's still going to have enough to go ahead and pull out an AWP, so we're finally going to see that popping out of the board. Dead Fox also responded with that buy. A little bit of a quasi-buy with Mev stuck with a Tech 9 on the back of that round. First shot's going to be a miss for PixelFire as they send the bomb into B. They want to get a little bit of information on the B site, but they're smoked off. Can't do anything with that. They start to focus on taking mid control. Might even think about doing a mid to B at this point, but the team's not quite clustered together yet.
Yeah, I mean, you always kind of feel that that's going to be what happens when the bomb is hanging around in the B tunnels, either upper or lower. If you're kind of just running a true default, the bomb will be back usually behind like palm trees, so you can kind of pick it up and move with it. But even still, you're only ever just 1 jump away going up Xbox to Cat. Let's see, everyone's still spread out looking for picks. Maeve's working the catwalk with a Tech 9. I don't think that's the play.
No, I think he's just trying to bait out shots, find information at this point. The team remains clustered at at Cat. And I mean, this is the best thing because you can go anywhere you want. You can do mid to B, you can go Cat to A, or even just charge straight out into B side if you want to. Mihu's going to play the CT side. He could come up absolutely huge if he times his peak just right. You see 3 players working their way around. Dead Fox is going to be watching it with the scope. Pete's also here. Great crossfire. Mid to B smoke. Flash. Pete's able to come down with the spray. Backed up by Mihu. 3 players down.
And there's Malzino, who from the start of the round was playing on the double boxes by the tunnel exit, and everything went wrong there at mid. Just that quick flash to push through that smoke and the crossfire that was set up at middle. Even though the number advantage was for PixelFire, not a single one of them could see. They got mowed down, and well, Dead Fox not able to do anything with that op. Previous, or just before they were going out middle, I guess when we saw Maeve on Cat with that Tech 9, he was kind of just shooting shots. Like, I've got a Tech 9, peek me, and they were going to slide Dead Fox in behind him with the op, but they did get smoked off. That's when they decided to go middle, and the round was over pretty quick after that, and going against the potential execute with some smokes and some utility. They don't want those pistols to do any damage. They just push straight up mid. No respect here to PixelFire on this round. Although Maeve finally getting on the board. Those are his first 2 kills of the match, so now that he's tasted blood, gets a rifle in his hand, maybe he can do some more.
Yeah, you see him charging in there. Looked like it was the AWP. Charges, then picks up before he backs off. Lounge Gaming catching them completely off guard with that heavy push straight on out. That previous round, though, I just want to compliment Lounge Gaming right there. They had the perfect read with Pete peeking outdoors and setting up the perfect crossfire there. Get the job done. PixelFire not going to play around. They're going to take aggressive mid control right away. This time, again, setting up for default. They charge straight out actually fast.
Oh, they're pushing
Throw the mid to B. Yeah, this could be huge. They take the CT player out. Problem is now they know exactly what's going on. Innocent's going to get smoked off himself, spamming through the smoke. But watch the shots from behind. And Innocent pinching it off at the front. So now you have 2 versus 3. Bomb is going to go down, though, Joey.
Yeah, it is. So nicely done. I like that quick adaptation by PixelFire. They're like, all right, last time we went out middle, we got flashed and pushed through the smoke at CT. So you know what? We're going to give Lounge Gaming a taste of their own medicine. We're going to flash that smoke and push into CT. And that works out great. Gets into a 2-on-3 post plant, and then Dead Fox moving up on Catwalk finds his second kill of the round, brings it into a 2-on-2, or excuse me, Taboo pushing up on Catwalk. Actually, both of them are right here. Dead Fox did get that kill. Can Taboo find the trade out here on Innocent, or are they just going to line up? That got a little bit dicey, and now you're playing on Cat. You planned it for Cat. You've been smoked off.
No!
Malzino does a great job, just throws that smoke and waits for a moment, knowing that that player is going to need to look through and get some information. So Malzino well played there. And, well, again, I like the way that PixelFire kind of adapts to what that player was doing in CT. It didn't quite work out, though.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate the PixelFire strategy right there, charging in, throwing the mid to B, trying to make it into a fake, but ultimately they end up getting pinched off on both ends, stuck in CT, and that's where they lost most of their players. Still able to get bombed down, so that's money, and that's going to allow them to go ahead and buy up. They got decent utility, and they're bunched up close to long A. It looks like they want to make a long A play there. Lounge Gaming's already got 2 players pushed up, watching the corner. One's going to go at the pit corner, play for sound. If they're noisy, it's going to be a bit of an issue. We see Mao's just kind of pre-firing into the B's site. No T's to be found, though.
Yeah, everyone out there in what I used to call the playground. So you spend a lot of time on your round there on the T side, kind of either watching the long push or setting up some smokes for middle to grab that late round control. But here they go. They're just going to pop flash out. And will Innocent be able to get one as... Oh, no, Taboo, he did, he was checking everything. He was that point man. But the timing works out. Innocent didn't get a free peek on him. Taboo was looking his way. Now the smokes will go down for the Cross Sparrow in the site. You got one man holding out. I believe that's Mihu inside of the smoke. Was an elevator. There's Maeve with the entry onto the site. Mihu able to get through that smoke. Sneaks 1 kill on the Barbar, but flashes there for the trade. Now it's up to Pete and Malzino. And a 2-on-4 post plant. This is kind of a situation where you're like... I mean, their money is quite good. So maybe they can try to go for it.
Yeah, it's all right.
Having one of these guns wouldn't be a bad idea. Innocent is actually quite poor.
Yeah, you got to keep in mind Innocent's super low, so it might be better to go ahead and save those weapons as much as it hurts. But I mean, look at this. Lounge Gaming, they've got to feel happy with themselves at this point. This is what 3, 4. They've got 5 rounds in a row before they finally lose one. They've won every single gun round engagement up until this point. And interesting note is the fact that this is actually the first time we've seen PixelFire go in for a strong, straight-up long push. And it was delayed, too. They waited a little while because Lounge Gaming's been pushing at least 2 people down towards long, and then they leave one towards pit or playground area before they start backing on off. And by waiting until that player's gone, you pick up the free kill and charge down long A. Lounge Gaming was still really concerned about the cap push. Pixel's been there every single time, so they didn't want to take their eyes off of that, and it paid off.
Yeah, so the late round delay explode, or the terrorist death ball, whatever you want to call it, is what finally gets PixelFire a round that came in a rifle round, right? They tried a lot of things. They were trying mid-B splits. They tried a pretty complex, mid push through the smoke into CT, go cat, and have a man come up long, attempt. And that one almost worked out, but even that still didn't. They kind of just go back to fundamentals, just work out long late in the round and storm out into the A site. That finally gets them around, but they will have to do a little bit more work if they want to get any freebies. They'd have to win here in round 10. Sparrow does go on for an op, so things are expensive. Only Mihu and Malzino with a little bit of money left over. So actually, even if Lounge Gaming were to drop this one, if they save a rifle or two, they'd actually be able to have a pretty big, called a half buy, or as the term on the street, thanks to Henry G, the quasi buy may be possible for Lounge Gaming after a loss here.
Maeve is setting up for a set smoke. I think that's supposed to pop. For possibly at cat. Everybody's already taken position at long. They're just going to go for another delayed long push. They've already pushed out and taken control, and CSGO Lounge had no idea that they were out at long. They're playing the same exact position he went down last time. Instant kill by Barbar. And there's the opposite side. Oh, Mishu could have come up huge, but the flash! Now he's looking around, doesn't know which way they are. Box 1 miraculously picks up the kill on Barbar, but it's too late. The bomb's already down.
They're being pressured from Sabu, who was actually down in the CT side of middle. He got some damage onto the 3 guys coming up A ramp. Malzino on the retreat will be able to grab one. Tabu's going to try to get him on this reverse cross so they can't save the weapons. But as I mentioned, if they save anything here, I mean, especially if they save all 3 of these, they're easily going to be able to have another rifle. Look how low these guys are, only 42 HP.
1 HP from Mihu, though.
I mean, everyone's one shot from a rifle, but they're actually all going to survive. So that'll be another rifle in round 11 for it, Lounge Gaming. As Mihu and Malzino are able to drop. They can even get an op again if they want to. I don't know if they will, though. Sparrow, like I said, I mean, he doesn't always show up to every game. Right now, he's only 2-8. And I think at most, one of those is an op frag, because I'm pretty sure he got a kill on the pistol. So, really no impact with his op yet. And actually, here's Dead Fox, speaking of the ops. Gets a tag, 80 damage onto Pete as he's crossing at the mid doors.
That's a frustrating situation. PixelFire, again, looks like they want to work on A. They're staying clustered kind of towards top of mid. Maybe they heard that noise coming from Innocent right there. Flash is just going to sit inside long door, playing, waiting, trying to find some information, maybe trying to bait Innocent and staying in his position. PixelFire now reverting back towards what looks like a default, except for the fact that the bomb is sitting just outside of B. They can still put it anywhere they want, but I'm thinking it's going to be a heavy fake towards A, and then they're going to hightail it out of there. Going towards B. Nice. Flashy's just picking up the one player pushing through smoke. That's Mishu. Free frag right there. And here comes the A fake possible. They flash out and take position.
Yeah, and it is that fake, as you mentioned. They're trying to go down in middle, and they trade out. Well done. Put 3 bodies at mid. Just lost 1, and now they're able to get up and attack Pete from both sides. And they already know Pete's low. And that tag might be the reason why they decided to go there in the first place. And look at Tabu. He's like over in A. This is, I don't know if this is even really counts as lurking if you're just putting that much pressure.
Hey guys, I'm here.
And they know exactly where you are. But that was one hell of a play from Tabu. Making this rotation really difficult. Sparrow steps on a landmine, and that'll leave Innocent in a 1v3. And I assume he's going to, find... I was like, really? You're not going to go for the AK? Picks up the AK, and he's going to get out of here, try to save. But finally, they are broken, and this will be a 3rd round in a row, and more than likely, PixelFire get the next one. 4 rounds in a row potential here for PixelFire.
Yeah. Momentum's definitely starting to shift back in favor of the T side over there. Certainly helped that they got the one free frag in mid, but they actually almost ran into a little bit of problem or a little bit of trouble as they backed off. You saw Mishu watching for that angle, and if he didn't get run over real quickly like that, he could have made the call for a super fast rotation back towards B's site. It almost seems that Lounge Gaming should have possibly suspected something and maybe biased their defense towards B, though, considering the fact that Pete got legged. You have to know that. You have to know your B player's already hurt, so it just gives a little bit more impetus to PixelFire to go ahead and take the bomb.
Well, that's why the A fake was so strong too, right? Because then you start throwing these fakes and finding a kill at A, and you're like, all right, now we got to rotate to A. Pete's the one man that gets left behind, and he's low. So I think overall, just a well-orchestrated round from PixelFire. But CT force buys, man, they can be tough. Flashing can maybe bring this back, and Taboo taking some damage.
Taboo.
But the man Malzino, so patient, he could actually get two, but no, he thinks that was Taboo, I guess. I mean, he should have known that there were two. That the fact that Taboo killed a few from lower.
It was costly, though.
I guess he didn't realize there were two down there. Yeah, it was. But, I mean, the T side's pretty cheap, so doesn't matter that much now. Taboo with 5.6, Dead Fox, 10.2K before he bought. Remains at about 8K. Double op, though. Sparrow and Pete both pulling out the ops. And, yeah, I mean, I was pretty sure that Pete was the opper for Vex. And I was kind of thinking that he might take that roll up on Lounge Gaming. I've never personally really been in love with Sparrow's opping. Not to discredit the man, but
Maeve just came up huge, walking out the long end, picking up 2 frags instantly before he finally gets traded out. And then what is this? Straight up cap. Barbar and Dead Fox finish up the rest of the 8 players, and almost instantaneously we're left in a 1 versus 3. Couple of trades coming out, but Pete's going to be left all alone with nothing but the AWP. Looks like he thought about possibly watching long for a moment, but he knows he doesn't have the time. There's plenty of time for PixelFire to stick a player down in inside a pit. That's going to be Dead Fox. And Pete has no choice after sitting on top of 10K, but to hold on to that AWP. Lounge Gaming was looking so good financially there for a little while, and suddenly broke once again. Mao's down to $0 too, so we're definitely going to be going into yet another eco round. An anti-eco for PixelFire. PixelFire's actually done very well on their anti-ecos.
Yep. Whose music kit is this? Sorry, I'm sure this stream has music turned off, but I'm just generating. Who got MVP? Was it Taboo? Someone's got like a classical. Oh, is it the Talos principle?
You keep your music on?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty useful for the bomb timers.
Yeah. That's why I keep it super low.
Yeah, it's not on very loud.
Fun fact for those of you who don't know.
The MVP music is pretty cool because you just get to hear a bunch of music kits that people have. And there's some really good ones now.
Yeah, fun fact, the music starts playing right at 10 seconds. So if you hear that music start playing, you don't have a kit, you can't do it.
Sometimes it's a little inconsistent. Like, I don't know if maybe you're lagging or sometimes it just has a little bit, it'll start late and you're like, I have this, and then you die and you're like, wait a minute.
Well,
but most of the time, yeah, that's why I keep it on. The 10-second warning is nice.
PixelFire banking on an anti-eco, but coming off that max loss bonus, looks like Lounge Gaming was able to go ahead and force up a very decent buy here. They give up long control, and that's going to allow Dead Fox to drop in a pit with the AWP. He's watching around the corner. His crosshair's in the wrong location, so if he does get peeked, it could be a problem. And now they threw the smoke. Spiro knows what's going on. Beautiful flash. He's able to walk right through. Only picks up 1 kill before he gets traded out. And that's multiple kills, and A site's actually already been granted to PixelFire. Mishu's in a horrible position for the retake, stuck in CT, and then we have a B player. That's going to be Mouse with the AWP. Probably, yeah, best to save.
Yeah, I don't know if that round would have been different if maybe you had, like, it seems like they tried to mix things up. Sparrow was overplaying at the CT ramp this time, where previously we'd seen Mihu coming up from that position and coming up with some pretty big plays, getting through that smoke. This time Sparrow, honestly, probably should have got 2 kills there. The spray transfer, I mean, didn't quite work out, and maybe it was going to work out, but the aim and the quickness of PixelFire to react to that. The one player that was further back in pit wasn't blind, and he was able to get the kill. And just really finding success working up long A and catwalk. late in this first half. Look, that's 6 rounds in a row right now for PixelFire, and not a lot to work with for Lounge.
Lounge actually played long A extremely passive. They had absolutely no presence down there that time around, so it allowed PixelFire to charge out. And I think the only reason that PixelFire charged out along so confidently was that they were assuming that this was going to be an anti-eco. They should have the long distance advantage. So it just didn't work out. Kind of a bad read for Lounge Gaming. They still have some cash. Picking up the AWP at that max loss bonus.
Yeah, I guess I kind of forgot about the bonus. That was a little bit better last round buy than I thought they were going to have. Malzino didn't really have any nades to work with, but Sparrow does still have his op. And he's here playing middle. And now Pete back over at B. Mihu over here at long with Innocent. Doubling up the long defense here. They've had some trouble, but this time PixelFire is not really taking that approach. They've just got Flashy making sure to watch that potential push through long, because PixelFire are kind of focused on B, middle and B right now.
Yeah, if only PixelFire knew this. They've got cat control. They've got some mid control. There's a free pick at B site, which could change things up. In fact, that pick is going to pull one long A player over to watch cat, and then Innocent's going to play this close angle by the door. 2 players on cat though. Bomb wants to work its way towards mid. If he crosses, Spiro might just have a free frag with the AWP at this point, or they could just try another one of these fakes. They threw a lot of junk on the A site.
They have so much utility still. They had 3 smokes, 3 Molotovs at that point. Dead Fox, though, will fall for Sparrow. Wasn't expecting a player still going to be locked on mid since they did find a pick, but it doesn't... Oh, actually, things turning around for Lounge Gaming. Everyone hitting their shots now as they went down a man early, but Sparrow starts him off at middle. Follow-up kills over here at B. Pete now getting his second, and Sparrow coming through for his. So in the last round, they do manage to get it. PixelFire, I think, I mean, they did try to get that early pick and throw an A fake, and it worked out. That's actually how they got one of their first rounds, or found some of their earlier rifle rounds, but I think they maybe did it one too many times. If they had just stacked up on cat and pushed into A after the long defenders moved off, it would have been probably the free win on the round.
So you got a scoreline of 9-6. I mean, not terrible. Just Lounge Game is going to have that much more pressure on them to go ahead and pick up the pistol round right there. That last round, though, it looked like Cat was completely open, and it almost looked like Lounge Gaming was thinking about going that direction. It's just the free frag at B site turned it into the A fake hit B. That worked so well a couple of rounds previously. Trouble is, they had no idea that Lounge Gaming was going to be rotating another player in, so they got to deal with 2 people into the B site. And then all those shots going out, I didn't even see where they were, but suddenly the B hit turns into a 2 versus 2 entering the site. You ain't going to win that one, especially with the rest of the team charging in.
Well, a little bit limited data on Dust 2 for both of these teams, but we did talk earlier about PixelFire playing against eFrag at the PGL Minor on LAN, where PixelFire, you know, still got 7 rounds on their CT side against the Terra side of eFrag, and you know, this is eFrag's bread and butter map, so I will have some confidence in PixelFire on the CT side and winning the first half 9-6. It's looking pretty good for them, but of course, still close. Don't count out Lounge Gaming here on their T side.
PixelFire is going to get aggressive, looking down mid with Flash and Maeve. Stacked up. Lots of information. That mid control has been granted. Free frag for Barbar with a quick headshot on Mishu, as Lounge takes all 4 players. Charging down long. Deadfox spots him. He's going to drop a flash. What a flash that is! Stops the push entirely.
And another one too.
More in his kit. It works. He's not able to convert any kills, but Flash is right there with the side shot. Deadfox drops the bomb carrier, and we're left with one single player Mouse. Wow, nice use of flashbangs on that pistol.
Yeah, really got to make them count on the pistol too, right? Like at most you got 4. Like usually 2 people will go in for the double flash, or if you even go for a kit, then you're just stuck on 1 flash. So well done there. flawless round. Good way to start the half with some momentum. And from the one game that we have on Dust 2 for Lounge Gaming, their T side did not go well. They won the map, but it was mainly due to their strong CT side getting 12 rounds. They found only 4 on their first half on the T side, and they also lost the Terrace pistol. So, the one game's not a lot of data, but
very simple strat underway right now.
It's almost everybody's strat now.
Flashbang could have come up huge, but a little bit delayed. Spiro's going to go ahead and pick up a kill. Barbar picks one before he gets jumped out. Flashy's also stuck in this horrible position. He's going to have to back off. Site's been taken over by the T's. Bomb is planted for Cat.
No utility to retake this either. There's a nade and a flash on Taboo, and that is it. That's the nade up to the catwalk. It didn't do too much. And he's going to use the flash as well. So now you've really got nothing. That flash actually worked out fantastically, though. Blind to the person in sight, and it got Pete on the catwalk quite blind. No smoke for the defuse here, so they will have to pressure these players onto the catwalk. And quickly peeking out with these Eagles, and they're both going in, both pushing together. Now they're just going to get on that bomb. Taboo with the kit. Maeve is locking down, and with the FAMAS, hits the headshot. Well played there in that 2v3 retake situation. Not a lot to work with, but I think Taboo really stretched the value of that flash. It was a lot more effective than I thought it was going to be.
I don't understand how that flash even got the player.
Got that man in sight? I have no idea.
Yeah, because I mean he throws it for Cat, and I don't even know what was he looking at. Maybe he heard the flash bounce.
He might
have
stood up and looked over at Cat or something, and then got blind.
Which is weird though, because you got your own player sitting there at Cat. It just it boggles my mind that he'd be taken out by that. Nice 3K, as well as the defuse coming out over from Taboo. Lounge Gaming still going to be low at this point with nothing but pistols as they work their way up towards Cat. This time not going with the rushy kind of plays, going to take it a little bit slow. Focusing on Cat. Oh, but that grenade, Spiro gets smoked off, back the heck out of there.
Yeah, I guess Pete's going to take over the Deagle Cat crown now. Still trying to work out that smoke actually wasn't perfect. Barbar, that was actually a B push. Coming through the tunnels, they get a quick kill and they will back off. Just going to defend their sights with his numbers. Good flash from Dead Fox at long. That's going to let Flashy peek up now, and, well, they get the job done over there. The Deagles won't do too much, and a lot of Deagles, actually. Those are expensive. Where's the money sitting? It's good enough here for Lounge Gaming.
Yeah, in fact, it's really good enough. They're still able to pull out a AWP, put it in the hands of Spiro over here.
Glass cannon, though.
I'd say PixelFire Gaming, so far, on their CT side, has been all about the effective use of the flashbang. I mean, they've been fortunate. In one case, they've been very lucky, but they made very good use of flashes in every single situation. Nice. Pete's going to go ahead and pick up the spare off that legging, and Mev goes down. Long control quickly granted to Lounge Gaming. Going to drop the bomb, just hold position and sit tight. You're going to see a big push coming out of B tunnels. Mouse could find himself in deep trouble.
Yeah, I actually really like that. You know, lost long control, all right. Well, screw long. Let's quickly go in and get full cat control. That's exactly what they did over at A. And then at the same time, they were grabbing that cat control. Then the B players were trying to push. Like, everyone trying to having to step up and make a play. But, man, did they get shut down in those B tunnels. Who was that? That was Malzino coming up from lower B. Yeah. They were trying to cover all their bases. One was watching that T-spawn cross. One was watching the stairs. But they both lost.
Yeah, that was, I don't even understand how that happened. I mean, Mouse was totally going to get pushed, totally going to get caught off guard, picks up the 2K. And notice what happened. As soon as he gets to 2K, the players for PixelFire start rotating into B site, thinking that it was A fake going to B. They charge in. At that moment, Lounge has the perfect read. They charge in, you know, totally confident into the A site, plant the bomb. And now, what are you going to do if you're PixelFire? You're in a 2 versus 4 situation. You know your money's low. All you can do is sit there and let the bomb detonate and hope that maybe you pick up some sort of an exit frag. Flashy's going to be the first one to engage if Mouse chooses to push the issue. I don't think he will.
Yeah, I don't even know if they rotated thinking it was going to be a B. I think they just...
You think they just called right away?
Yeah, I think they might have just said, hey, let's go save immediately. But yeah, who knows? I don't think they spotted the bomb, and then War picks up both sites. But 12-7.
Yeah, I don't think the bomb was spotted because they walked it out a little bit late and then dropped it kind of towards blue. We'll see. 3 players for CT pushing towards long, and it's going to pay off. Dead Fox with first kill.
Yeah, and actually now that the first 3 rounds, well, actually 4 rounds of the half are over, but PixelFire did get the, you know, the big 6, right? They won the pistol in both halves and got the subsequent 2 anti-eco rounds on both halves, and that's a statistic that usually leads to a victory, but Lounge Gaming showing some life, winning the first rifle of the second half, but immediately into round 20, Dead Fox has found a pickoff onto Pete, so PixelFire man advantage now with about a minute 13 on the clock. Trying to work out middle. Flashy waiting patiently, and we saw this crossfire be very effective from Lounge Gaming. PixelFire now going to try to do the same, but the timing for them doesn't quite work out. Gotta get that smoke down, pull up that weapon, and they will be pushing through that. AK Barrel was spotted. Bomb is now down, but Mihu gets in through the window, and Barrel just walks out for free in tunnels. The defenders are down, and CS Go Lounge, you know, man down early, but taking B like champions right there. The mid timing was a little awkward for PixelFire.
Yeah, I think that was just really unfortunate for PixelFire. You called out that perfect crossfire they had, and then you saw, I think it was Barbar pulling out the molly at the exact moment
like
that
right
they
when
peeked
they
around
peeked,
the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, he tries to get out of dodge. I mean, that's really the only thing you can do, but he still got tagged up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? B-side granted immediately. Bomb's going to go down. So Lounge Gaming starting to build just a little bit of momentum down here. And PixelFire, they're going to hang on to this one AK-47. They're not going to have too much of a round bonus. What are they at? What, 19 of what? Get $2,400 next round? Yeah, not much. So we're looking at an anti-eco round. PixelFire starting to lose the lead. They need to get a little crafty. Be nice if they can make this costly for Lounge Gaming. But they're already getting ahead on money. Look at this, 7.4K for Mihu.
Well, the op was saved. And Maeve spawns with a long A spawn. But, oh, not going to take it, actually. They're going to boost him up fast cat. I like this. Just get aggressive. This can generally get you a pretty easy kill. But no one is middle. Everyone is over in the B tunnels. And the rotation will be very fast from PixelFire as they went for the fast cat. 2 players up there, 1 in the middle. The rotation through the B tunnels can come very, very quickly. Maybe too quickly. Pete's watching the stairs. But will he give it up as they execute? That could be a key part of the rounds. That being said, PixelFire do only have USPs. There's 1 CZ. The flank comes in, and there it is. Oh! Flash is able to get it, but can't get his hands on that op. Malzino turns, reacts in time. Innocent getting one at the doors, pushing through, gets dinked, but will stay up. And at this point, I'm sure Maeve is oh no, he's actually going to come in through the tunnels. They're going to try to put some pressure, op in a CZ, and get some exits. Now backing off, but that's allowed Mihu to get into a position that they might not expect him to be at already. You're going to get over to A, and there's actually going to be a terrorist here. Yeah,
it's going to be an unpleasant surprise is what's going to happen. This is one working his way up. Cat, that's going to be the AWP, too. It's Maeve. Look at him.
Like,
Dumps down, stare at the floor.
Do the old CT shuffle.
Get out of dodge, man. I mean, he's going to try to push the issue with a grenade. Maeve's already down to 46 health, just holding this hard angle. And come on, peek me, bro. Peek me, bro. If he just fired right there, it would have worked out beautifully. And he does get taken down by me, so it's not going to be a saved off. Looks like Barbar.
Punch.
Oh.
He would have got the kill if it wasn't for the aim punch. Yeah, but I mean, Barbar, it's not like he even has armor. He literally just had a CZ. Still nice, I guess, to hold on to it. We'll have a stronger secondary as he is going to pick up the op here. I was also kind of wondering that. So maybe Dead Fox is just the T-side opper, Barbar is the CT side opper? Or maybe a positional thing, Barbar playing middle wants to have that op. And Taboo actually got hurt pretty badly crossing over into B.
Oh, they got the Xbox smoke. Innocent peeks around the corner. Xbox smoke's going to force Barbar to walk into CT. Powerful position, so he can go ahead and op and down both sides. Ooh. Pete's got the angle. The second Barbar peeks. Could be a free frag if Pete holds this. But he's a discipline offer. He's not going to go for it at this point. Sniper versus sniper. Down mid. Lounge playing the default. Bomb almost leading the way towards Cat. Seems to suggest they want to go ahead and hit the A side. Setting up for smokes. And Pete watching the flank with the scope.
Yeah, the double up setup coming up from Lounge could slow things down. Smoke there. Oh! Yes, you know, that was almost very awkward. Malzeno, of course, having to check both of those boxes as he moves into CT. Almost got caught off guard, and Barbar able to hit one shot, but they are just pushing up. Once Malzeno got that CT control, they felt very confident to go for the split into B. Not having to worry about that crossfire, and they take it. Here's Maeve again. The saver of guns so far for PixelFire as they've fallen on hard times. About to lose 4 in a row right now. Gotta find something that they can do on a rifle round to make this work.
That's really the danger of losing mid control and losing eyes down mid when you're CTO. Looking at it now. Oh, misses the shot. He's dropped. Loses AWP before Mouse finally makes the conversion right there, so it becomes a little bit costly for Lounge Gaming. Yeah, but that's the problem. I mean, you have no eyes down mid, you've lost mid control, you lost cat control, and it just gives the T's so much freedom to move around the map at that point. And that's exactly what happened right there. Lounge Gaming, I really think that they wanted to go towards A, and like you called, based on that quick CT control, they could change their mind, flood into B side instantaneously.
Yeah, the CT control is so strong. Like, what a good spot to leave somebody when you go for a beat take. Oh my god, did Pete just get double dinked by a USP?
I think so. He's low. Aggression by PixelFire on their eco round, going all the way down towards long. Dead Fox is actually going to peek the corner. Innocent fires. It's enough to scare him off. He's going to back off.
They might do something. Yeah, Flashy was still holding close. Now he'll back off. So they were trying to work that with the op. Now they'll just leave Innocent to watch it. Actually, all the way back in T-spawn and cat control for Go Lounge. They're going to try to get in here. Dead Fox lining up these USP shots. I think he's also the one who dinked Pete. Now he's got a kill, which you wouldn't expect to have even happened. And there are a few 5.7s and even a P250 there on Taboo. So a bit more potential damage from PixelFire. Taboo pushing up middle. And he's going to try to fall back and does get out of there.
Yeah, I think he just saw bomb as well. So not a whole lot of information, but now look at how the CT is starting to pinch in the gap. They take one pick at B side, and then there's another one. So you're going to have a fast rotation potentially happening over here. Mihu is going to go, or I'm sorry, Dead Fox is going to go ahead and pick up the AWP. And now that all of his teammates are dead, forget about the rotation, time to back off, hang on to this AWP. How's the money looking? Low, but with lost bonus, PixelFire is going to be good either way. Of course, you'd rather hang on to this AWP, get a couple of kills, make this
trying
expensive.
To remain alive, Fox, but
no.
Will fall. The saving of the op would have been nice, but yeah, they got the money. They got that max bonus. That last round was an eco.
2 ops.
Without armor, just some upgraded pistols. And they will go for the double ops now. So that's going to be their adjustment. I mean, that's an expensive one. You lose this, you're going to definitely be taking one full eco.
Well, let's see where they choose to put this. Dead Fox and Barbar. So Dead Fox is going to put the op posted on long, and Barbar is going to be watching down B side, and almost a perfect read by Lounge Gaming as they focus on mid, which is completely unwatched at this point. The only person who's got any pressure is going to be Flashy.
Well, Taboo's watching it from the double doors at B. He's just not peeking out in middle. And
yeah,
now Flashy's dropped off Cat, so he can set up that crossfire with Taboo that we saw, unfortunately for them, not work out earlier in the second half. But there they go. Sparrow's gone down, so that's 1 op out of the equation. There were 4, and then there were 3. This is truly a Dust 2 match when we're counting ops.
Right. Well, I mean, now there's just an op sitting awkwardly on the ground somewhere. So the losing team's always going to have the possibility to go ahead and pick that up and save it at the end of this round. It's 11 and 12. Lounge Gaming really closing up the gap. Pressure's on PixelFire. They kind of have to win this, as all the T's bunch up in tunnels. Good timing on the smoke right there. It's going to hold them off till the very last second. So if Taboo and Barbar can just hold them off for a little while, we might see a situation where Lounge Gaming just runs out of time on the clock. It's beginning to really favor PixelFire.
Well, we've seen Lounge Gaming win so many rounds this half from a man disadvantage onto this B site. But this time, Taboo in a very strong spot. Doesn't really have the patience. And I think he's fortunate to even find 2 kills there. He didn't wait for Mihu to cross. call the coast as clear, and maybe there was more potential for him to get some more kills. But the fact that he finds 2 was maybe enough. Now you're going for that retake. What do you got? You got a smoke, you got a flash. There's a Molotov and 2 flashes on the defense trying to hold on to this post plant. And, well, that's actually where the utility was. It was on the upper end tunnels. Innocent now spotted on the back platform. They can move in. Oh, not too safely as Maeve has gone down. Flashy, though, finds him in Deadfox to defuse. So PixelFire finally getting something done before they lost that lead. That would have been the tie for Lounge Gaming, and what a key round for PixelFire to get back to winning rounds. It'll be 13-11.
Yeah, the round ended up getting a little bit dangerous for PixelFire right there. Taboo, I don't know how he is able to go ahead and pick up the 2K. Patience, hell, Patience might even have given him a 3K right there, or at least bought him a little bit more time for the team to rotate in. Either way, doesn't really matter. PixelFire finally getting that extra round in. They've got the money they need to try to coast all the way to victory. Of course, this is CIS, first to 16 rounds. Wins the map, and the next map is going to be DE Train. And Deadfox, yeah, good night. Oh my god, Deadfox follows up.
Yeah, he obviously got his first kill and either legged or hit him through the ledge of Catwalk. Did a lot of damage, threw in that nade, finished it off. Now Barbar with the ops. The double ops, man, that's making the difference. And I do think that was the smart adjustment, right? These terrorists now have double ops. They're going to be trying to, work every single corner with these ops to try to get an opening pick. And now we've got ops of our own to deal with that. And since they've gone to this, they've won 1 round, and it looks like they will have found a second here unless Sparrow and Innocent can put together some miraculous play 2v5. But PixelFire not giving them an inch. They're not going to make a mistake on a round like this. Everyone just sitting tight on their default spots.
That was very much what made Deadfox and Barbar the stars at PGL for PixelFire right here, setting up these double op setups and just dominating for the team. And Deadfox holding the tight ankle, finds Sparrow. And I think he might even see the bomb right there. Innocent's going to pick it up, and with only 40 seconds remaining, a hope for something. Flashy peeks him, gives him the free frag right there. And now he's out. Little does he know he's going to have to contend with 1 player by Xbox. Taboo, free fragged on Innocent. And 14-11, PixelFire got to be feeling happy about themselves now as they close in on match point.
Yeah, I mean, still have not earned a free round. Pete's at 9K. He'll buy up an op, left at 2K. Mihu's got 5.5K loaded. So even if PixelFire push it to match point, Lounge Gaming will be able to have a round with like a rifle and Tech 9 armor and some utility, which isn't the worst thing, especially on Dust 2, We've seen how strong on the eco rounds both these teams. I think both teams almost won their eco round just with the Xbox Smoke Rush Up Cat. Just do that with an AK
at least get the plant that way.
And yeah, you get that plant. Well, at that case, it was really matter to win. But Barrow finding Maeve, who did have a nade out. I think he threw a flash in, and I don't know if that was the most effective Molotov. Deadfox shot gets baited, so they know an offer's on the corner now. He'll have to jump up, taking the elevator, cue the music. We aren't PGL. We didn't bring our elevator music, unfortunately. I actually love that. That was so funny.
It looks like Lounge Gaming is going to go ahead and abandon this pressure at long. They're going to leave Pete to just be annoying and then set up back for a default. They got a full minute left on the clock. Innocent Mihu. Actually, they might not even go for a default. They might just challenge. Barbar's going to fall back.
Deadfox hits a shot out to Pete, so that'll bring it back to the 4-on-4. Still a bit in favor of Lounge Gaming, and that smoke was actually garbage. Left out a big old opening. I don't think anyone will be ballsy enough to peek that, though.
Flashy now into the B side, so you got 2 at B and 2 at A, and then mid is left completely open. Lounge Gaming setting up for split A. Barbar could come up big, but he's going to have to go ahead and look to the left. If they hit this at the exact same time, though...
With ops here, the crossfire could be pretty strong, but if anyone gets close, Deadfox is hitting his shots on Cap. Barbar struggling at long. Mihu takes him down a car. Now even more pressure on Deadfox. Nearly found a third. Taboo does find Mihu on the cross, so he's given himself a 1 versus 1. And an important one at that. This is to get out to match point. Looks like, Malzino actually took a quick peek down there into CT spawn. Taboo now is making his way up. Malzino, having checked it, might not expect. He's watching Cat and more concerned about Cat and Long, feeling that he had cleared out CT. And here's Taboo, might just win out on the timing strike. He's gone up to the box already. And
oh,
spray down that was! Spray and pray, press, crouch. And I don't know, man. That was a sketchy firefight, but he gets it. And you can see him already throwing guns in the air, spinning and defusing. That's match point for PixelFire.
That was a game of whack-a-mole right there, and Taboo ends up coming out on top. That was brilliant. I didn't have a lot of faith in him. I mean, it goes into that 1v1 situation, and Taboo is stuck in CT. It's so hard to go ahead and creep all the way up. Got kind of scary there, but he's still able to pull it out. Taboo, how's he doing so far? Yeah, he's dropped 19 kills, almost up to a 20K so far this map. And it's going to be a massive battle for long control as everybody charges out both ways. The flashes and the smoke's actually going to force the PixelFire team to back off into the A site. Couple shots exchanged. Innocent is low. And Go Lounge, they're just going to charge ahead and exploit this while the bomb backs off.
That nade only did 2 damage. I thought for sure that was going to land on Dead Fox's face. Trying to use that utility to annoy those oppers, but to not much avail there over at long. 2 damage done to Dead Fox, a lot of utility wasted, 2 smokes, 2 mollies, and a flash remaining on Lounge Gaming. That's enough for pretty much a B split or an A split. They don't really have anything in the tank left for a fake, and Miu's actually just going to go out with a pop flash. That is all, and he does win that battle out onto Barbar, who has not had his best game. Only 14 and 19 right now. And, you know, could very well be that final scoreline he ends up with. Maeve trying to escape out of this. He cannot. Sparrow was closer than the man he engaged first, so very unexpected. But Flashy in a good position, able to get one. Malzino pushing through the smoke somehow finds that, and Taboo and Dead Fox retaking with Ops. But the bomb is down. Oh, Dead Fox does shoot, so he's now giving away that position. If he came up here unknown, that might have been a little bit scarier. And he'll switch out to the A4, which oh, he's got, did he not see the gun?
Whoops.
And
it's all going wrong.
Innocent's on the flank already. I mean, you expect all members to be on the site. There's only 3 people in a post plant, but actually Innocent's still behind you. And Lounge Gaming playing for that tie. What a shot from Taboo.
Yeah, and
but,
Taboo,
you know, garbage frag.
Back off. Saving the AWP. Let's take a look at the money right here. Super low right now for PixelFire. They've lost, what, 3 rounds is going to be 4 rounds in a row, so they're going to have plenty of cash coming in. Might possibly go for a quasi-buy, but honestly, I don't think that's necessarily going to be smart.
They got some rounds to work with. It's just because round 26 was so close. PixelFire lost 4 members, and before that, in round 24, they lost 3 members. So the 3-round win streak they had was still expensive. They lost a lot of people during it, and that's why after just 1 loss, they're pretty much forced to go for a save, which is the smarter play. I mean, they have an op. You can very often be tempted to go for like 5-7 armor, P250 armor behind this. Oh, and they actually are going to go for it. They've dropped a bunch of FAMAS, so...
Wow. Well, okay, it's not a complete disaster, okay? So if they lose this, they're still at max loss bonus.
They'll still have one more chance
one more
to close it out, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess they're just playing the odds to say, you know, let's just put pressure on these guys right now. And even if they make it expensive and they get a bunch of frags against Lounge Gaming, it puts Lounge Gaming into a financially careless situation.
But Lounge Gaming's decision's easy at this point. Spend all your money no matter what.
You have to, yeah.
It would still suck to have less money, but...
Right, less utility, and that's going to shift the favor in favor of...
oh, this could be cray-cray. Oh, that was actually such a cool idea! But it did not work out.
It was crafty. It was crafty, but the problem is by charging in there right into this massive 3-way crossfire, it's just going to grant them 3 frags and grant the B site to Lounge Gaming. So that force buy just not going to pay off whatsoever for PixelFire. Trying to get up with whatever frags they can. Dead Fox not able to convert it into a kill. Spiro with the 2K at the very end. And Lounge Gaming now 13 and 15. PixelFire, surely they can't buy this time. In fact, I doubt you'll even see many fancy pistols. It's going to be straight up USBs.
Yeah.
Going into this round.
I mean, they could just take this time, hide out, find a huddle somewhere on the map, and you know, instead of using a timeout, just take this round to talk about what you're going to do the next one to try to close it out. But no, they're trying to make a play. They're going up on cap very, very quickly, and they're just going to kind of line up for the shooting gallery. And that was a very, very fast round, and a potential for OT here on map 1, unless PixelFire can to close it out. And not a lot of money, not the strongest round here. No ops going to be available, so 4 M4 A4s and an A1S there on Flashy. See what they can do. Triple op and an auto sniper for Lounge Gaming.
That's
of course, a lot of these are going to turn back into rifles, but
the result of that that force buy going on initially. Nice. Spiro dropping bar straight down mid. Bomb works its way to the B side. Taboo's going to be there all alone. Drops a smoke. Slows it down. Lounge Gaming really wants to focus on, well, actually, they're just doing a very slow play at this point. Watching down mid, trying to pick up whatever free frags they can get. They've already got bar. And at this point, it's just a matter of push me, bro. Push me, I dare ya. Spiro's got the op. Watching for Maeve to push. Peek around the angle. It's a busted looking op, too, isn't it?
I know, I love it. I love the, for, like, degraded Asimovs. Looks so, like, dystopian. It's tight. Oh, they actually will even drop off the double op setup. Pete threw his down, picked back up an AK. So 5 versus 4 right now, and I like that. I mean, even getting some more kills on that kind of desperate rifle buy-up a couple rounds ago from PixelFire would have stopped the 3 ops and an auto sniper from running down middle, which is a great play from Lounge Gaming. You know, you're definitely going to get a kill on someone crossing. They did onto barbed wire, but now they're running into some trouble. Ooh, Taboo, if he finds that kill, some very, very close ones. Flashy lit up like 3 people coming out of middle. That's why so many people on Lounge Gaming are low, but the split was still successful. They got into that B site, and now Maeve, well, go for it, buddy. And
yeah, I mean,
Sparrow shuts it down real quick.
Yeah, he can't do anything. That's actually a 4K round right there for Sparrow, too. Absolutely huge. 15-15, so that's going to put us into an overtime on Dust 2. PixelFire.
It's going to be a long day, Pat.
Yeah, I think it is going to be a long day. Yeah, if you're just joining us, we are here all day long. We got 3 best 3, so potentially 9 maps, and maybe even more if you look at overtime.
And I think more because there's not a lot of skill like disparity between any of the teams in this qualifier.
Well,
besides
the SK
maybe
game should be pretty one-sided.
Yeah, I still think that SK game will be a 2-0.
Yeah.
Which is the last game of the day, so maybe that'll be quick and let us off a little bit easy. But I think that these first 2 series like could be full 3 maps with OTs all day. And
well, we got the score sheet popping up. Let's see who's representing for the team so far. 15-15. Of course, we're going to be heading straight into overtime.
Also,
yeah.
It's also PixelFire. If we look at any of their recent OTs. They're involved in the longest notable LAN match in history in Counter-Strike Global Offensive. So, I want to like you, PixelFire. Don't make me hate you. Either lose or close out Dust 2, right? I don't want to see this freaking 7 overtimes.
OT after OT. Well, the kill spread is pretty wide for PixelFire right here. It looks like Dead Fox and Taboo have been doing all the heavy lifting. Barbar's traditionally been a real star player for the team. He actually hasn't stepped up that much.
And so has Maeve's also been pretty good.
Yeah. So clearly they're not exactly home. Now, I did hear a rumor. I don't know if it's true, but some people tweeted at me that possibly 3 members of PixelFire were feeling sick. And of course, I mean, that's no surprise. They're coming back from LAN, and what's everybody do when they come back from LAN? Everybody's got kind of the little sickness, little sniffles from being around all these people, and also little after parties and all that. Not to mention the stress of having to play through all these games, particularly if you go multiple overtimes for a 41-38 game to Den D at the PGL Minor. Maybe that could be affecting some of these players. We honestly don't know. Lounge Gaming, fairly even on the kills. Not that big of a spread. Pete's not doing quite so hot on the kills, but you look at the efficacy, he's actually been pretty solid. He's picked up a couple of 2Ks, and he's made the plays where it counts.
Yeah, let's see, how does it stack up with the data that we have? So Mihu is kind of the star, and that's where he is, way up at top. Malzino, he's kind of the median player for this team. He's playing above where you'd normally expect him to be. Yeah. Pete, I think also, although we did talk about put his stats in context, his former team, he's playing against a little more elite opponents, so he's probably where he's at. Everyone played really well. Sparrow started really slow, but the fact that Sparrow actually started to come online there late in the second half is really what brought them into the comeback and getting this OT, because he was having a really rough game, and he's only at -4 right now, 18 and 22.
It could be
with a couple
Sparrow's
multi-kill rounds at the end.
T-side.
Yeah, that's true. Could be a one-sided player, maybe.
Or even positions. I don't recall exactly what Sparrow was doing on his CT side, but it's true. I mean, if you're stuck in certain positions,
CT ramp sliding over to middle roll on CT side. If I do believe I'm correct. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't quite recall, but I mean, sometimes your position can really just wreck you on CT. The best example I can think of is the drop player on Cobble.
Yeah,
you're either having your days where you're wrecking the team and they can't pass, and you're standing there like Gandalf, or you just get destroyed every single time. You know, I mean, that's just the way drop goes sometimes.
So these guys actually taking a somewhat sizable break. I wish I could have done the same.
Should we,
I've drank a lot of water and would like to pee. But...
Yeah, I think it's going to take a little while. Well,
actually, no. I think did they just ready up?
Yeah, they just read it up.
Yeah, okay.
I was just about to send us to commercial break, but hey, here we go. Overtime, 15-15.
That's what did it, right? You're like, now we're going to take a... Oh, we're ready.
Yeah. Now, if we actually went to a break, they'd read it up that second, right?
It was all a trick.
Well, overtime, the way it works, if you're not familiar, everybody starts out with $10,000. So in theory, it's always going to be a gun round unless you're just flat out getting wrecked. You do three rounds one side,
if you lose twice on the CT side, you're taking a force buy in the last round. Depending on how close it is, if you lose twice on the terror side, force buy, or like really light rifle. But yeah, money can be kind of tight.
It can be.
I like it though. It gets overtime off to a quick start. Everyone has rifles and like 2 full rounds to execute and do everything they can do, and then like you do still get punished. Like if you weren't able to do anything and you've lost 2 in a row, I think you deserve to get punished, and the economy does come into effect in the last round of OT. So it's cool. Double op still for Lounge Gaming. Dead Fox just the one for PixelFire.
Yeah, heavy investment going on. It's going to be a super slow play for Lounge Gaming. It's important. I mean, we're down to overtime. You got to pick up that first round right there. Dead Fox is going to peek around the corner, and he actually finds Innocent as he comes around the corner at top of mid. So that's going to be a quick free frag. Shapiro's watching the angle, but CT's already backed off. He's happy with that kill. He's going to chill and let the pressure be on Lounge Gaming. As the smoke wears off, Mishu wants to assert some cat control. The entire team's bunched up on mid. They've given up so much map control at this point, which means they're going to have to be careful just in case PixelFire chooses to push the issue, which they really haven't so far this match.
Yeah, it can be pretty risky on Dust 2. And also right now, you got the man advantage. Just sit back and play the sites. I think now that these smokes have come over, you might see one of the B players maybe push real quick. Try to get into lower B. But no, they're not even budging. Man in CT. Oh, and it's...
Maybe?
Yeah, well, fake out middle. You got Malzino trying to run at mid, and he gets shut down instantly. Now, Dead Fox hasn't gone down. The nade is going to bring down Shapiro. Now we went to the... Well, I guess the op battle was won with the grenade, and 2 sick shots there for Dead Fox. Headshot onto Pete. The third one was the best of them all. 4K for Dead Fox, and where was that to... well, I guess they didn't have the op on the last round of regulation.
Yeah, Dead Fox just single-handedly holding down the A side right there. That turns out to be a 4K round for Dead Fox right there. I like the craftiness that was going on for Lounge Gaming, though. I mean, they set up that cat control, and it really looked like they were going to go for a cat fake. But instead, they throw the stuff on a cat, and then they drop the mid to B smoke and put one player on out there. Oh.
Went a little far, and now Taboo throwing some mollies. Doesn't have a lot of time with his gun out as he was trying to, work that utility in there, and it wasn't all that effective, actually, as that rush came very, very quickly. Full rifle rush. Barbar trying to get one on the cross, but unable to do so. Those doors are not made of wood anymore. Nice little molly in onto the plant spot, but actually it looks like it went the other way as, I think was that Mihu was still able to sit there on the default plant spot. So 4-on-4 retake, 2 smokes, a couple flashes, and incendiaries to work with for the CT side. A lot of this will come down to what Maeve can do from tunnels. And Dead Fox actually got a Molotov kill. Maeve's going to try to get Pete out of his position with the fire. Nicely done. Now they spot Malzino. Last one up on the B flat. Try to peek out for some headshots, but he can't do it. And yeah, the retake's very, very well done. I mean, 1 fire kill, fire to get Pete out of position, and they hit the shots. Utility well used, and PixelFire here in OT. Well, they got the full buys, looking like a stronger team.
Yeah, that was phenomenal right there. Lounge Gaming charging into the B site. And really, by the numbers, that ought to have gone in favor of Lounge Gaming, but PixelFire dominant on the retake, really. I mean, they didn't even need to do much trading in. They're just walking into the site, hitting the shots they needed to hit, specifically Maeve. He was in a 1 versus 2 situation right there and really focused on that back plat player. got pushed up and gets the spray down. Perfect entry, and 17-15 Lounge Gaming is going to start feeling the pressure right here. A little low on the cash, but still have decent weapons. Spear with a scout.
Yeah, this is kind of that low utility rifle buy that you talk about for the terrorists if they lose 2 in a row in OT. And you can see Sparrow moving down to the scout. Dead Fox gets aggressive at long. He's supported by some of his teammates, and he finds the opening frag. So Dead Fox has been monumental here in this first half of first OT. And PixelFire looking for the clean sweep, which would mean no mistakes on defense when Lounge Gaming switch sides.
Oh, you got Pete already down. And there you go, Maeve.
Not even going to move. He wants more.
Hold the position.
It gets more.
He's able
that
to
drops
get
the bomb.
The mouse has to back off right back into the crossfire. Maeve almost gets his head taken off. How's that happen, though? Dead Fox dropping one. Innocent's going to be left all alone. Has to go for it, and there's Dead Fox once
Even the server printed that one out. Dead Fox just saved Maeve by killing Malzino. Because I mean, that's really what happened. It was spot on there. Good job, server. Going to replace casters pretty soon.
That's right. Autocast. Dead Fox has saved. Dave. Well, you know, people get on us for mispronouncing names. Could you imagine if we did like robotic voice?
Great. Text-to-speech casting off of just like the HLTV scorebot or something.
Exactly. The Stephen Hawking caster extraordinaire. So there it is, 15 and 18 at this point. PixelFire, what, 1 round away from stealing Dust 2 at this point as they switch sides. Lounge Gaming is going to be on the CT side. We saw their CT side looking a little bit weak last time around, so I have to favor PixelFire going straight into this. Got multiple chances to do it. 3 rounds. All they need is 1.
Yeah, well, PixelFire, they won the first 3 rounds on their CT, on their T side, but then ran into some trouble with the rifles.
That's a good point, and this is pretty much all rifles at this point, so maybe.
And Maeve's gone down. Pete with the op. Sparrow. Pete gonna get another one. Nicely done. And Malzino here helping out. Also finds a double. So,
wow.
You know, just the B defenders. That's all that was needed to defend B.
That
good scenario.
That is a hole right there. But I mean, PixelFire, they've been fairly crafty on some of their takes over here, and that's as simple as it gets. Everybody go B. Trouble is, you got 2 people crossfired in, including an AWP, and they just couldn't even get outside of B tunnels at that point. It's got to be frustrating to lose that, but it's not like they were doing some sort of elaborate tactic right there. Dead Fox almost able to pick one up. I don't think he even necessarily saw him, though, with that grenade.
Yeah, so to remind ourselves of regulation, it was PixelFire getting the first 3, then it was a streak of 5 in a row for Lounge Gaming on the CT side. Then PixelFire were able to put together 6 of their own in a row, so overall they did have the better T side. So you'd think they'd be able to grab at least 1 round as you translate that into a 3-round half, and that 1 round would put them at 19 and win them the map. But Pete so far with the op has been pretty scary, and they've not actually discovered the Scar 20 auto sniper on Sparrow, which could also cause some trouble the first time they run into it.
Yeah, it might actually cause real trouble. In a sense, scouting out long, which is where 3 of our players are strung out. Flash, Maeve, and Dead Fox. Thinking about going this direction. Innocent's going to announce his position with a molly. Doesn't do any damage. They're just slightly back off. He's going to hold. Just playing for time at this point. Spots 1.
Well, this is pretty much how they got their first rifle round. Back in round 9 is when they went for that. They actually just went for the 5-man delayed long push. This time they are going for a split. Here's Dead Fox once again, going to be the big player. Innocent in the pit. He's been spotted. Flashy, living up to his name. That man was so flashed. He was blind for so long, and a great use of flash here. But, oh wow, peeking out into the fire, and Mihu goes down. He had 2 blind targets in front of him. But I think the fire distracting him a bit. Nice little pass. Flashy throwing that bomb across. Call him Peyton Manning. Call him Cam Newton, whoever you're cheering for in the upcoming Super Bowl. I'm sure Europe doesn't care. So we'll move on to Malzino and Pete trying to retake 2v3. Are they going to go for the boost and try to peek over? I like this little play. If they get peeked, they look like idiots. But if that actually worked out, they would have looked like geniuses. And they try to both quickly peek both sides, but they line up for Taboo, and he brings them down. 19-16, PixelFire take their pick of Dust 2.
And Taboo finishes that round with a 3K, 2K right there at the very end. So brilliant overtime for PixelFire, picking a map that they're not particularly good at, but it's also playing to the weaknesses of Lounge Gaming. And it came down to the wire right there, 19 and 16, very back and forth. And I'd have to say PixelFire really winning it on
Dead Fox with the op.
Yeah,
that's pretty big in that OT.
34 kills
in every round.
34 kills, almost 180 AR.
Let me actually check. How many first kills did Dead Fox have? Yet
10.
This is insane. Yeah.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about, though.
I've never seen someone hit double digits. Like, yeah, that went into OT, but even still, like, that's absolutely nuts.
Now, compare that to the rest of his team, though. Compare that to the rest of his team. You got 10, and then 1, 3, 2, and 1. That's it.
Get wrecked. I mean, Sparrow even did an alright job. He had 5, but 10's crazy. I've never seen. I can't even think of a game. I don't always check every single time on the box score what exactly it was, but 10's crazy.
It's beyond crazy. I mean, it is nuts. But that's consistent with what we saw at the PGL as well. The stats for Dead Fox and Barbar specifically were typically in first kills, where they were just leading not just their teams, but both teams, win or lose. And I mean, there you have it. One or the other is going to be on fire dominating. This time it's going to be Dead Fox. The next map, however, is going to be Train. That was chosen by Lounge Gaming. And let's see if I take a look at my notes right here. Yeah, Train is actually kind of interesting. They've got they play Train quite a lot. They've actually got a pretty decent record on it. They've beaten Dignitas in the past on Train. Typically not a map that they pick, though. Usually they just allow it. They kind of steer the vetoes in the direction of Train. So I'm thinking that they're going to be very confident on it. PixelFire really doesn't have a whole lot of information on Train unless you've got something buried inside of your notes.
Oh, let's see. I got one map when they were actually PixelFire. If I go back a little bit further to when they were CSGO 1, we've got... they played it 4 times. They're 2-2, and I think they did win the one Train they played, so that makes it them 3-2.
Yeah, I have a 16-5 to Dendy. That was at the PGL minor, so they destroyed him. But you're talking about a team that's not quite on the same level
as well. So yeah, we'll see.
So they might have.
I'm gonna have to force the break here, though, Pat. I'm gonna pee my pants.
Yeah, me too.
So we're gonna take a quick break, and when we get back, it's gonna be Game 2, PixelFire versus Lounge Gaming. I'm Helium. Hit me up. Oh, I'm on the right side. At Helium Brother there on Twitter. Pat somewhere over there at Pat Flanagan. Let us know what you thought of the casts, and we'll be here all day. So yeah, we'll be back. See you guys in a sec.